Depression and trauma can leave people feeling trapped, like the fog will never lift.
I was wrestling with depression and anxiety, some trauma that happened to me in my home.
After suffering strokes, Susan struggled with balance.
I had a very difficult time processing. I really needed help. After I had the strokes, I would drag my foot and my balance was off.
The first treatment changed everything.
First day, I felt the fog starting to clear. I feel so good now. When can I have the next one? And I'm like, am I supposed to wait? Or am I supposed to just go on? And that's where you guys come in. And my mom said, you are back.
Her husband remembers the moment her mother looked at him.
I looked at her mom, and her mom looked at me and said, we got our girl back.
We got our girl back. Stories like Susan's are why KBlend exists. You can hear Susan's full story right now at KBlend.com. And if you or someone you love is struggling, you don't have to face it alone. Call the KBlend helpline, 734-605-8500. That's 734-605-8500. The KBlend helpline is ready for your call.
Welcome to the KBlend Show. Honest conversations about God, mental health, and chronic pain. Without masks, without pretending, and without fake smiles. Here are your hosts, John and Krista Kleider.
Welcome to the KBlend Show. I am Dr. Krista Kleider, your host for today, and I am joined by our friend and guest, Sam. Thank you so much, Sam, for coming to share your story today. So who are we? As many of the listeners may recognize, that KBlend, we are no strangers to WMUZ. We've actually been advertising partners on WMUZ for several years now, but this is the first time that we're hosting the KBlend Show by ourselves. And we are going on air, and we're also have it available as a podcast. So this is a space where we come to talk about God, about mental health, about our journeys, our pain, our suffering of life openly and honestly, without wearing masks, without pretending, and without saying that we're okay and we're fine when really that we're not. We are going to share real hope, real struggles, real stories of patients who have been through the KBlend program, who have found the support that they've been looking for quite some time. And we are so thankful again, Sam, that you're going to be with us today. So I'm an advanced practice nurse, and I have been practicing anesthesia as a nurse anesthetist for over 15 years now. I'm also a psychiatric mental health nurse practitioner. And my husband, John, and we have been operating the KBlend program for over 5 years now. We have helped hundreds of patients find relief from depression, anxiety, post-traumatic stress disorder, obsessive compulsive disorder, suicidality, which are suicidal ideations or self-harm, as well as chronic pain syndromes. Here on the KBlend Show, we are an open resource for those of you that are struggling with these conditions and have questions about the conditions. If you or someone that you know might be interested in hearing more about this, please stay tuned for the next hour. Our listeners can join us on www.mykblend, that's M-Y, the letter K, B-L-E-N-D, where you can view us live. So let's talk about real faith, real healing, and real hope. Sam, you have been a patient at KBlend for well over a year now. It has actually been since March 2023. And we're going to be getting into the areas of depression, anxiety, some suicidal ideations, as well as some grief over the sudden loss of your husband. And so let's talk about, though, first, what originally drew you to the KBlend program.
Well, what drew me to the KBlend program was actually my mom. I'd been to countless doctors, countless medications, and when it wasn't working, my doctor just upped the dose over and over again. And I'm actually diagnosed with Bipolar 1 and major depressive disorder, as well as CPTSD. My doctor was unable to diagnose me, and I thought I was going crazy. The negative ideas, thoughts, constant just dwelling on the negative and the guilt and the shame and I grew up in a family of alcoholics, and I myself am an alcoholic. I'm in recovery. I have 6 months clean, which I don't think would be possible without KBlend. I've tried to quit drinking on my own. I've tried to feel better on my own. My mom just had enough. I was lashing out. I tried to kill myself, and I have a young child, and I had a husband who loved me very deeply, and it would have destroyed my family. But the attempt was made, and I got put into a psychiatric hold, and I didn't know what to do when I came out. Nothing had changed. I still felt the same. I still wanted to be gone. It felt like I hit rock bottom. And so my mom did some research and found you guys, and I started treatment in March of 23. I remember the first treatment, I didn't feel any different when I got home. So I was like, okay, here goes another situation where I'm still going to feel this way. And I was doing every other day. So when I came back for the second treatment, after, it was the voices stopped, the negativity stopped, the impulses, the depression got better, the urge to drink felt better. I just felt better. I looked forward to my other treatments, even though it was scary and it's hard work. You have to learn how to let go. And it's a lot harder than it sounds to do. John and you coached me through it, and I ended up just letting go and letting the ketamine do its job. And I've never felt better. I make sure I come every 3 months, or when I start to feel even like I used to. I can't even say I feel close to how I used to, because I don't, but I know myself. And when I start to get sad, I know that it's time for a maintenance therapy here. So I come in and I'm good. And the next day I'm a totally different person. My family notices, my friends, my colleagues. When I lost my husband recently in March, I've never felt pain like that before, and figured there's nothing that could be done except for missing him is all I can do. I came in here right away. I got my appointment. I've been making sure to come every 3 months so that I don't get to that point where it's no coming back. And I always feel better after. It's my medication doesn't do it for me. Therapy didn't do it for me. I felt like a lost cause, to be honest. I grew up with a lot of childhood trauma, and I had a very abusive stepdad. We didn't have a lot of money. I never learned coping skills. Just to drink was to cope. So from age 13 to 36, that's how I lived, and I didn't know any better. And I made a lot of mistakes. I'm raising my daughter by myself now. I was for a long time until I met my husband, who was just a great guy. He took care of her as his own. He took care of me. He used to bring me to my appointments. He knows the staff here. He loves it here. He was so great towards my mental health journey and everything with this program. When I lost him, it was a tragic car accident. It was a Sunday afternoon. He was going to Kroger. He dropped me off. He forgot his phone, and then I get a call from his phone saying, your husband's been in a bad accident. You have to get up here. And this nice couple came and got me and took me to the scene, but it was already too late. So I didn't get to say goodbye. I didn't know it was coming. It was really hard. I still struggle today, but like I said, I come in here and I just get that therapy that you can't get with counseling or medication. It doesn't work like that. Some people are like me, and that stuff just doesn't work. You're hopeless, and you feel like the best way out is to be gone. At least that's how I felt, and I know that it can feel very alone and very. Nobody understood. I would tell my friends, and they just thought I was crazy. Nobody understood the voices, and it's not like voices like you would think, oh, she's crazy, she hears voices. It's just guilt and shame and how terrible of a person you are, and like anxiety like no other. You dwell on things from years ago that there's no reason to think like that, and you can't help it. It's just constant. It drove me absolutely crazy. It pushed my drinking problem into full rock bottom. When my husband died, I ended up I would wake up and drink until I passed out drunk, and then I didn't know what to do except for to call and get help here. And I checked myself into a rehab, and I've noticed that when I get treatments, I don't feel like drinking after, which is nice. It's kind of helps with that too. my coping skills are getting better. I do use a couple techniques I learned in rehab, but I rely on this program and as a reset. That's how I put it, as a reset. I can feel when I need it, and I feel worlds different after I have it. It doesn't make life perfect. Nothing will. I still am sad a lot. I'm covered in grief, but it helps. I can't even explain it unless you've been so low and you've tried so many things and nothing works for you. It saved my life. My family wasn't talking to me. I really did try to kill myself. My husband found me trying to hang myself. I was hanging in the basement. He cut the wire. I hit my head. I got a concussion. I went to the hospital. I was, like I said, they put me in the psych ward of the hospital. And all I did was hurt everyone around me, and I can't imagine what he had to go through seeing that. And it's not who I am. It's not, I can't even relate to that person anymore today. I don't feel like that in the slightest, and it's not due to medication and therapy. That's not the only way. Prescription drugs is not the only way to feel better, and they don't work. I had to find several psychiatrists, several therapists. I battled this for years before my mom found the clinic, because she, like I said, everyone was giving up on me. I would go through manic episodes and ruin everyone's life around me, and the chaos and the sadness. I can't picture living like that again, and I can understand how I felt the way I did, but it's a distant world for me now. I feel so much better, and I don't know what I would have done without finding the KBlend clinic. So I can't thank you guys enough for everything you've done for me, and I definitely will. I'll actually be back in about a month and a half, so I'll come for my routine maintenance, and I owe it to KBlend and to you guys that I'm still here, to be honest, and I still have loving family and people that care, and I don't know how I would have got through my husband's death, to be honest. It took me right back to wanting to die because it was so traumatic, but, you know, I got my treatment, I slowed down, I got my reset, and I decided to start just giving it to God and praying, and all I can do is stay busy and focus on my recovery and staying well, and that's what gets me through it. So yeah.
Wow, you shared so much.
Yeah.
so many things that I want to explain a little bit further and dive into a little bit more on this show for sure.
This is Nate talking about his KBlend success on the Home and Health Show.
3 weeks ago, I would have been sitting here, I'd have been fidgety and not been able to speak clearly. Now I feel like I could face the world. The fears are gone, like the chains are broke.
Nate had tried just about everything to get his depression and anxiety under control, but the medications and therapy weren't working. Then he tried KBlend. Proprietary KBlend acts like a sledgehammer on treatment-resistant mood disorders like anxiety, depression, PTSD, OCD, even chronic pain.
If you tried everything else, why not try this? You went down that path before, why not go down this one?
Call the KBlend helpline at 734-605-8500 and talk with the KBlend experts about how this miraculous treatment can break the chains of your mood disorder or chronic pain.
If there's a light at the end of the tunnel for me, I know there's a light at the tunnel for others.
Call 734-605-8500. Call the KBlend helpline at 734-605-8500 and talk with the KBlend experts. For years now, you've listened to testimonies from other WMUZ listeners about the miraculous effects of KBlend on
PTSD, I'm bipolar, I have anxiety, I have depression.
I was actually diagnosed bipolar. There was a time I was taking probably 30 to 45 pills a day.
I've been dealing with depression for about 2.5 decades. Depression and anxiety. I've been in and out of hospitals, and that's usually because of a suicide attempt.
But you're still suffering. Don't wait any longer. With this special offer from KBlend, now is the time to contact John and Krista at 734-605-8500.
There were a lot of nights where I would go to sleep and I would just hope that I just didn't get up the next day, to be honest with you.
I've tried pretty much everything that you could think of. I was diagnosed with severe depression, severe anxiety, bipolar disorder, I wasn't able to do daily tasks. I would just lay in bed for days. Definitely has not just changed my life, but saved my life.
KBlend acts like a sledgehammer on treatment-resistant mood disorders like suicidal ideation, anxiety, depression, OCD, PTSD, and on chronic pain.
I started noticing a difference even just after the first treatment. After the third treatment, it was a very, very big difference.
Break the chains of your mood disorder or chronic pain and get real and lasting relief with KBlend. Get on the road to real recovery by calling the helpline at 734-605-8500.
You hit the nail on the head when you said that the KBlend program does not make things perfect, right? We know it's not a magical medicine that makes you walk out feeling like Superwoman and the person that you've always wanted to be, right? But what it gives you is that ability to make better choices, to decide not to lift that bottle, and to also take care of yourself, right? And find the right psychiatrist, find the right therapist, find the right place to work at, perhaps find the right friends and family members to support you. It gives you that opportunity to use the whole part of your brain, right? And so we're going to talk a little bit more about that here in just a second, but I also wanted to share with you that you're not the only one, too, who has shared that the KBlend program, through our treatments, that one infusion is like 5 years of therapy. So even if you're doing talk therapy, cognitive behavioral therapy, DBT, whatever it might be, whatever type of therapy that you're doing, there's nothing like the KBlend program.
There's definitely not. I wake up crying every time I go through my KBlend program, and I can't tell you why. I'm just hysterical, but it's kind of like a release, I would say. I don't know. Yeah. And then I do think differently after. It kind of, like I said, is a reset for me. Yeah. But I always wake up crying. Like I got a lot done that I don't get done with the therapist.
Yeah. So when you wake up crying, is it about sadness and doom and gloom, or is it crying of relief and satisfaction and a weight lifted off of you, or like the black cloud is lifting?
It's the lifting. It's like I let everything go and I just feel better. It's not a sadness. There's nothing sad that I see. I just feel better. It's immediate. Like I said, the first time it didn't do anything the first day, and I was scared. And I was like, here we go again with another situation where I'm just going to be like this for the rest of my life and have to live like this. And but that second one, John came and talked to me. He was like, you have to let go, and you just really have to try. And I did. And I felt amazing, because the first one, I even went and got a drink after. I was still drinking, and I told my husband, he's like, you're not supposed to do that. And I was like, well, I still feel like this, and I'm having a drink, and that's what I'm going to do. The second one, he was like, do you want to stop and get a drink at the bar right down the street? I was like, no, I'm good. I feel good. I feel happy. I haven't felt like this in years. And everyone noticed in my voice and my behavior and my decision making and my parenting. My daughter's so thankful. I'm so thankful. It gave us a whole new life together.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah. So, you spoke about control, right? Having that control over your life and wanting that control over your drinking. Like, no, it's not working. I'm going to control the situation by going to self-medicating again, which is what I've always done. So with control, the problem with control is that it's actually a state of your brain, fight or flight mode. And the fight or flight mode is a response of your sympathetic nervous system. So that's an automatic response of your nervous system in situations of threat, in situations of fear, anxiety. System overload is basically what it is. Again, especially that executive functioning part, the prefrontal cortex. So praise God that you've experienced that through this program. And that's why John and I do it, is to hear miracle stories like you of people that we're helping have been on multiple medications. We have some patients that have been on 30, 40 medications, and nothing has helped, and in and out of psychiatric units. And I do want to jump into the loss of your husband, but let's backtrack a little bit about the suicidal ideations. So you talked about in your head that the negative voices that were constantly going through, right, that negative thought loop.
Yeah, I never had a break from them. Even if my life got better, I got sadder. which didn't make any sense. Even if things were going fine, it was like that cloud was over my head and, oh, you're such a bad mom because you're an alcoholic and you did this and you did that. And thing I did from her birth, because that's when my drinking problem really started, was when I was around 25. So she would have been 5. Anything from there on, I couldn't stop thinking about it. And that was 15 or 10 years ago. So it was eating me alive. And even if I said something in a conversation, I took it as, oh my God, I can't believe I said that. And it wasn't even a big deal, but I would dwell on it and beat myself up over it. And then it would get to the point where I wasn't showering. I was not brushing my teeth. I don't leave the house. I would just sit and drink and by myself, and push everyone away from me. And everyone thought it was lazy or just gross, but it's actually a task when you feel that bad. And it's hard to believe it till you go through it. I had so many different ideas of, oh my God, I would never kill myself. I would never do that. I would never do this. It could happen to anyone. It didn't start happening to me till I was 25. I had postpartum when I was 21 and I recovered from that and everything was fine until I was 25. These depressive and manic episodes kept happening to me. And my doctor, like I said, kept giving me antidepressants and I was taking so much that I eventually had to wean off them. There was way too much for my system until they found out I was bipolar and got me on the correct medication. And I found this program. I was going insane. The lows were so low and the highs were, I can't explain the highs. It's like the best feeling in the world. Like you have so much energy. You don't sleep. You don't eat. You feel not even human. It's like king of the world kind of. And like you're just on a pedestal and you're so awesome. And you don't want it to end, but the recovery, the down that comes after it is some of the worst down I've ever felt in my life. I don't leave my bed. I don't turn the lights on. I don't eat. I don't talk to anyone. I don't parent. It's really scary. And like I said, you see it on other people and you're like, I'll never feel like that. I had an ex-boyfriend when I was 20. He killed himself. And that's when some of my mental health journey started. It really made me just really upset. I took it personally because we were dating and how could you do that to me when I didn't look at his side? How could you live like that? I didn't understand how somebody could be sad enough to take that course of action until I understood because it happened to me. It's a real thing and people call it selfish, but when you're in that state of mind, you're not thinking about anyone. You're not even thinking about yourself. You're just trying to make it stop. Just the pain it's indescribable. It's bad. And the only way out is out for it to end, for the voices to stop, for the feelings to stop, the crying, even if you're in a room full of people, you're alone. It's sad. It's really bad. And thank God my husband saved me. And I that didn't happen to me and my family, but it has happened to other families. And I can't imagine the pain. I know the pain just being a girlfriend of somebody who suffered like that. And it was terrible. And I look at his mom and she's just so depressed. It's hard to describe unless you felt it, really.
And you talk about with those suicidal ideations, you just wanted the pain to stop. And I think a lot of people that maybe don't understand mental health or don't really understand suicidal ideations, they feel that the person really does just want to kill themselves when really, realistically speaking, and so many people like yourself, you just wanted the pain to stop. You wanted it to quiet. You wanted relief from those nagging voices in your head, the pain that you felt so deep down inside, right?
Yeah.
And so for our listeners that maybe are confused by this or concerned by this, that we're explaining this in this manner, you can picture a roller coaster like at Cedar Point, right? You go 0 to 60 in like 3 seconds. Up and down.
Yes.
And that's exactly, I'm sure, what you went through. Can you explain a little bit more about after you started in the KBlend program, how quickly did those suicidal ideations of, I want the pain to stop? You said the second treatment?
The second treatment, all of the voices stopped. The negative feelings stopped. The guilt stopped. The shame stopped. Everything quieted down. I have never had a night where I always had to have the TV on or something playing. Even when I was driving, I would play a show on my phone. I wouldn't necessarily watch it, but I needed the noise to concentrate so I wouldn't think of bad things about myself all the time. I slept without a TV. I slept without a light on. I got sleep. I forgave myself. I kind of just released everything and was like, this is a fresh new start. It's up to me to keep my side of the street clean and take this opportunity and use it and work with it and do what I'm supposed to do, because it felt so good. That's when I was like, I'm not going to drink after. I'm not going to do things that are going to put me in a situation to feel like I ever felt before. I had some self-respect and I cared about myself after the second treatment. The first one, like I said, I was like, oh no, here we go. Because my family started to say, like, it's the people around you. It's your friends. It's your husband. It was never me. Never me why I drank. Never me why I caused all the problems in my family. It was always somebody around me until finally they realized, this is kind of a pattern. Every 4 months she's behaving like this and it's bad. I'm attacking people and myself. I did a lot of terrible things to my family and I almost lost them. Yeah, the second treatment, they noticed a difference in my voice, my thought pattern, my everything. My relationship started repairing. My life started repairing. I wasn't so concentrated at work on myself and how bad I was that my job got better. Like, things got better around me because I didn't think like that anymore. I had faith in myself, trusted myself again, and was proud of myself.
That's amazing. And what we don't realize is that day after day, the more that we allow those negative thoughts to invade our brains, our brain actually creates pathways for those thought patterns. And so every time you say to yourself, I'm so stupid, I'll never get this, just the worst person on the planet, I am a bad mother, I am a bad friend, I just can't do anything right. The more that we tell ourselves that, the more solidified in our brains that those patterns get. And what happens is that then even if you're in a positive situation, like at a birthday party, you have a birthday party for your child, you did everything right, the cake is perfect, the balloons are perfect, you invited everybody that was supposed to be there and they all showed up, you're still going to be sitting there thinking to yourself, I'm a horrible mother. Because those pathways, your brain is going to think and follow the path of least resistance. So even if you do everything right and everything is going perfect for you, those thoughts will still be there.
Yeah, they were there. My husband passed in March and my daughter and I share a birthday in August. She had a birthday party and it was really hard for me, which was weird. I mean, it wasn't like I had a hard Valentine's Day and stuff, hard birthdays, but this one hit me really hard. Everybody was having a good time and I felt like I was alone again in a room full of people. My mind started to try to go back to the way it was. And that's when I knew it was time to come back to KBlend, because those pathways, it seemed like, were reopening. I started, not negative thoughts about myself, that it didn't fully come back. That's been gone since treatment too. But the habit of starting to isolate, getting really sad and feeling alone, all that stuff kind of came back. So I knew it was time to come back and get reset. Nothing was helping and all the techniques even weren't helping. So it's crazy. I know now when I need to come back and I can tell in time before it gets out of control and those pathways fully take over again.
Yeah, that's amazing. So if you feel that you need a reset, much like Sam is discussing, I want you to give us a call. 734-605-8500. Again, our phone number is 734-605-8500, or you can visit us at www.my, the letter K, BLEND.com, myKBlend.com. We hope to receive a call from you if you have any questions or, again, that you feel like you need that great reset. We'll see you in just a second. We're going to continue on with Sam's story about the recent loss of her husband.
For years now, you've listened to testimonies from other WMUZ listeners about the miraculous effects of KBlend on
PTSD. I'm bipolar. I have anxiety. I have depression.
I was actually diagnosed bipolar. There was a time I was taking probably 30 to 45 pills a day.
I've been dealing with depression for about 2.5 decades. Depression and anxiety. I've been in and out of hospitals, and that's usually because of a suicide attempt.
But you're still suffering. Don't wait any longer. With this special offer from KBlend, now is the time to contact John and Krista at 734-605-8500.
There were a lot of nights where I would go to sleep and I would just hope that I just didn't get up the next day, to be honest with you.
I've tried pretty much everything that you could think of. I was diagnosed with severe depression, severe anxiety, bipolar disorder. I wasn't able to do daily tasks. I would just lay in bed for days. Definitely has not just changed my life, but saved my life.
KBlend acts like a sledgehammer on treatment-resistant mood disorders like suicidal ideation, anxiety, depression, OCD, PTSD, and on chronic pain.
I started noticing a difference even just after the first treatment. After the third treatment, it was a very, very big difference.
Break the chains of your mood disorder or chronic pain and get real and lasting relief with KBlend. Get on the road to real recovery by calling the helpline at 734-605-8500.
KBlend show, and today we are talking with Sam, and she is sharing her amazing experience with the KBlend program, but she's also going to share something very personal. Recently, she had the sudden loss of her husband. And Sam, if you want to take it away, feel free to share whatever you would like the audience to know. We really appreciate hearing your story.
Okay, I met my husband in the end of 2017. It was just me and my daughter till she was 9 years old because her father has a drug addiction. So we cut that out, and it's just been the two of us. It's the first man she's ever met that I dated. He became a great stepfather right away. They hit it off. They were best friends. Everything I ever wanted finally came true after being alone for so long. We got married in 2020. We went to Vegas because of COVID. So we drove and we got married. You know, marriage isn't perfect, but it was perfect for us. We really had a big stepping stone in my mental health. I couldn't have done it by myself. My family started to turn on me, but he didn't. He knew something was wrong. We just couldn't figure out what it was. I put him through the ringer, just like I did everyone else. He stuck by me and he helped me, trying to figure out what's wrong, how to fix it. He understood, on days I couldn't get off the couch or when I'd go manic, he would help take care of Kenzie for me since I didn't do that. I was too busy just acting crazy. He'd make dinner, he'd fill in. Everything was really good. He just got a new job and he was really excited. And like I said earlier, he went to the grocery store, dropped me off. Forgot his phone. They think he had some type of medical emergency and he ran into a tree on the way back to pick me up. And it was a fatal car accident. I got to the scene and I got instantly sick. And then I really don't remember much more after that for 2 days. It's right by my house, but I couldn't tell you where the accident was still to this day. I guess I slept at my friend's house, but I don't remember going there. I don't remember calling her. Good thing I did because she was driving, not me. I went into the shock. I can't remember anything except for just drinking. And I couldn't even get drunk. I was so emotionally upset. It was just emotion that made me feel better just by doing it because that's what I'm used to. When I'm happy, I drink. When I'm sad, I drink. When something's hard, I drink. If I celebrate, I drink. This was back in March. And then I had friends and family come stay with me for a couple months. They would take shifts about a week at a time and keep an eye on me because they were scared I was going to do something or resort back to who I was. And understandably so, I was really upset. I didn't talk much. It just was full of tears and drinking. I would wake up and I'd wake people up to me opening my drinks. I would drink all morning, all afternoon, sleep a little bit, drink some more. I stopped eating. I reverted back to my old behaviors. I couldn't take being alive during that. I've suffered loss. I lost my cousin to an overdose, my stepbrother to an overdose. My grandpa, who was like my dad, I lost 3 years ago. So we've been hit with loss after loss, but I've never felt one like this. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how I would live anymore without him. He was such a big part of my life and my daughter's life. And so we called here right away. You guys got me in. And it helped me clear my head enough to stop drinking and get the help I needed. And it helped me not want to drink and to want to do the right thing again and feel okay as much as I could. The feeling I felt was a zombie. I woke up every day excited to go to bed. My poor daughter pretty much had to grow up and start taking care of herself. A couple months. I didn't cope well. And when I wasn't crying and drinking, I was sleeping. I didn't leave the house. I didn't take care of myself. I didn't cook dinner. It was a really bad time for us. And I actually had similar feelings this weekend for Valentine's Day. So my mom was like, you need to call Ketamine. I was like, I do have to try to do some of this on my own. And I am coming in about a month anyway. I think the only thing I can do is keep healing, doing my treatments, and doing what I have been doing and staying as busy as I can and productive as I can. But he was just such an advocate for mental health and this program. And he understood me and knew that something was wrong because I changed so much from when I met him. It's just the help I had with my daughter. I can't thank him enough for taking over when I couldn't. And, it's just, I'll always be thankful for him and for this. And I'm just hoping that, one day I'll get to see him again. So that's what gets me through, pretty much.
Oh, thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah.
Our hearts are breaking with you. And I feel so honored that you came in today to share this openly with a huge audience. A huge audience on WMUZ.
I'm getting used to crying in public, so.
Well, yeah. I think that your story is so important of everything that you've been through because you know that you're not the only one who's experiencing these emotions and these feelings and these thought patterns and these behaviors, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know that you're not on an island by yourself. I think that in the world of mental health, we tend to think that we are on an island and that we are the only ones who are being affected by it. And I think it's just absolutely outstanding that you have remained forward focused through this entire process of, now because of KBlend, you were already on that healing journey, that when this happened, you recognized what was going on. You knew to reach for help out. You knew to reach out for help again. You knew that you weren't acting and behaving right. You knew that your daughter was in trouble. You knew all these things. Mm. So praise God that you were able to recognize those behaviors and those patterns again, and that self-medicating was not going to help.
No, it didn't. It got me through the day, and then I felt worse the next day. So then I was like, I have to drink again. Every day. And everybody around me was too scared to tell me, hey, you're falling apart. You need to change. How do you say that to someone who's just lost their husband, that what they're doing is wrong? Eventually, though, they did have enough and say something. And I knew what I was doing was wrong. And I knew it wasn't helping. I just wasn't ready to face reality and really accept what happened. And when the shock wore off, it was just depression. And it's almost better to be in the shock, to be honest. It didn't hurt as bad. But that's when I knew that my behavior had to change. I need to get my help. I need to reach out. I need to get back into therapy. I need to make sure that I'm doing everything I can to still be there for my daughter and myself. I can't let myself down anymore than I already have.
And do you feel like that your grief is still coming in waves up and down?
Yeah, it's definitely. I'll have a really good day and then I'll feel guilty a little bit. It's kind of weird. Okay. And I feel guilty when I have a good day, but it's getting better. And like I said, I used to cry every single day, and now I don't cry every day, but it's just a song will come on or something weird at the grocery store or the gas station, and I'm not to the point where I can talk about him yet. Or I don't look at pictures yet, but I do, I'm starting to think about him, and sometimes I laugh and I get happy, but my crying spells are farther in between. Things are getting better. It's just a slow process. I'm doing a lot better than I was a year ago, but it's getting there. It's still a lot of hard work.
And that's exactly what it is, right? It's a process.
Yeah.
Again, you're not going to be fixed overnight. You're not going to magically become the person that you want to be 5 years from now, right? It's going to be a process. It's going to be a walk. It's going to be a journey. And, the healing line is never linear. It never goes from point A to point B. It goes up, down, all around, sideways, backwards, forwards, right? You talked about feeling guilt on your good days. That's a tough one. That's
Yeah,
a
that
really
one-
tough one.
I can say there's been one day in the last year I felt happy, which is, I used to be happy all the time before this. And I haven't felt that in so long. And then I had this feeling of guilt about it. And I had to remember, like, he doesn't want you to go back to where you were. You got to have happy days, and then you're going to have good ones and bad ones. And he wouldn't want you to sit and fall back to where you were. So you need to embrace those days and enjoy them. So not that I've had good days, but this in particular day was about a month ago. I felt happy, overly happy, and just, it felt like like this accident never happened. But it was nice to feel that for a day.
And that's normal
Yeah.
to feel that, right? Like that's okay. That's validated. There's a reason why you feel that way. It's difficult to feel, but it's normal because of the grief that you've experienced. And so I have trauma victims who share with me, like, I always wondered how long it would take for me to forget and have one day of my life without remembering that trauma. And then it's almost like that one day that you don't think about that trauma, the next day you do feel that guilt. Why
Yes.
didn't I think about it? Why wasn't I? Again, it's those pathways in your brain that we allow to be created by the thoughts that we think, by the behaviors and the patterns that we perform and we do. So, don't feel guilty about that, though, right? Like, this is a justified reason why you're feeling that way. But absolutely, you talked about moving forward, not reaching for that bottle, not self-medicating, staying forward focused on where you're going and who you are going to become. Explain to me a little bit about how you are staying busy and how that you're keeping yourself motivated on that forward moving path.
I'm not a religious person, I would say. I'm spiritual. I believe in God. I just don't do the religious part of it. And I actually started going to AA. And so I've opened my spiritual awareness a little bit more. And I go 5 times a week, and I go to the gym 5 times a week, because I've learned when I'm stuck at home, I focus on the accident. I can't not. It's a constant reminder at home. The weekends are really hard. When I don't have that structure of work or the things I have to do, every morning I wake up and I forget about it. And I have about a half hour to myself where that's not on my mind. And I'm taking care of my animals, feeding everyone, letting them out. And I'm just doing things like kind of disassociating, but it's a break from thinking about the trauma and the pain. And I get it every morning. I always have a good morning. It's just throughout the day I get beat down. So my brother actually decided to get sober with me. And he's been a big help in all of this. And he didn't talk to me for 3 years about my drinking and my manic episodes because of how I attacked family members. So we didn't have a relationship until I got sober and started doing the right thing. And so we go to AA 5 times a week in the gym. And then I take Fridays and Saturdays off. I try to rest and hang out with my daughter and do things that make me happy. And I do get a lot of sleep because I'm tired. So I sleep a lot, especially if I feel like I'm going in a rabbit hole of depression. I like to take a nap and reset and start my day over. Just small habits like that. Instead of drinking, take a rest. Instead of drinking, go to the gym. Instead of all this self-negative harming behaviors, try to do something positive. Try to be grateful. It sucks that you lost your husband, but there's still other things to be grateful about. You have a great job. You have a great daughter. You have a connection with your family. You don't hate yourself. You are proud of yourself, and things around you are going well. And if, God forbid, it just wasn't for this accident, I would say this is the happiest I've ever been if I didn't have this accident.
Do you do anything specifically like journaling, writing out your thoughts and your feelings?
I do 5 things I'm grateful for in the morning with my sponsor, and I'm doing the steps right now, so it does have journaling and stuff in it, but I do want to pick up on something like that when I'm done with the steps to stay busy and get my thoughts out and let them be free.
That's
so I'm not
amazing.
holding on to them.
Yeah. That's amazing. And praise God for the AA meetings, right?
Mhm.
Those are amazing.
Yeah, I've got a really good group of sober friends that they know what happened and they help me stay accountable, and also they're just so caring and they understand what it's like to be like that and feel like that and do things like that. And a lot of them have mental health battles too, and I tell them about the program. I tell them about things like this, and we switch, advice and ideas, and they'll check on me like, hey, you seemed off. What's going on with you? And they care. You got somebody that cares. It's nice.
That's amazing. So what would you say to someone who's listening right now, who's contemplating reaching for the bottle today to numb their pain of whatever pain that they're going through?
I would call KBlend and I would get to an AA meeting. That's exactly what I would do. If you've tried to stop drinking on your own, which I'm sure you have, because when it gets to the point where you are contemplating that you have a problem, you already have the problem, I've learned. So if you can't, and nobody can fight and be sober by themselves. If you think you can, you're a dummy. You need to get in there with the group of support and people like you and the program that supports you and your lifestyle change. You got to get rid of people's, places, and things. Everything around you changes. Everything. So you need that support system. And the ketamine helps with the addiction part of it in your brain with the pathways. I found it easier to quit drinking since I've been on ketamine than when I tried without it.
Amazing. And so if you're listening today and you're really, really struggling with the same situation, very similar to what Sam has been through, you're not on an island by yourself, right? We can help you. Call our KBlend number at 734-605-8500. Again, our phone number is 734-605-8500. We would love to hear from you. Love to find out if the KBlend program is right for you, but we really just want to help you. Sam felt like she had no hope. She felt that she had hit rock bottom, as she called it, and we all know what that feels like. And so if you feel like you're at rock bottom right now, don't hesitate to call us. There's no obligation. We just want to see if we can help. Our phone number is 734-605-8500. And we'll be back in just a few minutes to share more of Sam's amazing story. Thank you.
Joey was dealing with several issues when he first came to KBlend.
Trauma, anxiety, depression, failure, hopeless, not knowing even where I stood with God.
He tried the conventional ways of dealing with his anxiety and other mood disorders.
I did therapy and counseling. I seen a psychiatrist. They prescribed me medications. The medications, in a way, they helped. In a way, they caused other problems.
Nothing he tried was helping.
After so many failed attempts, you start to feel hopeless and you feel like nothing works.
And then Joey went to KBlend for their proprietary and personalized treatment of anxiety, depression, PTSD, OCD, and other mood disorders, and he finally had his breakthrough. Take a sledgehammer to your treatment-resistant mood disorders and pain with KBlend. Call 734-605-8500 and get on the road to true recovery. And Joey's advice to others who are searching for relief?
I would tell them that whatever they're struggling with, they need to bring it to KBlend.
I didn't get out of bed some days. My friends didn't even know anything about me for months because, I just didn't want to talk to anybody.
For years, Jill tried almost everything to conquer her depression and anxiety, but nothing seemed to work.
I've been going to therapy since I was 13. Every medication you can think of, I've done a mouth swab test to see which medications I'm good with. It was 3, but we tried all 3 and nothing worked. And it's the KBlend, because that was the last resort. And let me tell you, I'm so thankful it worked.
KBlend acts like a sledgehammer on treatment-resistant mood disorders like depression, anxiety, PTSD, OCD, even chronic pain. Call the KBlend helpline at 734-605-8500 and talk to a KBlend expert about how this revolutionary program can help you overcome your treatment-resistant mood disorder, suicidal ideation, or chronic pain.
What else do you have to lose? Just do it.
7 months ago, I had plans to kill myself about 3 times in that month.
Scott had been dealing with anxiety, depression, and suicidal ideation for over 50 years. Then he found out about KBlend.
My best buddy got me into KBlend, and I told him, there's no way you can fix me. I'm unfixable. And John and Krista assured me that they can help me.
John and Krista Kleider of KBlend use their proprietary and highly personalized ketamine infusion plan to work like a sledgehammer to break the chains of bondage to anxiety, depression, suicidal ideation, PTSD, and other mood disorders. Call the KBlend helpline at 734-605-8500.
My experience with KBlend, such a loving environment, just fantastic.
KBlend can help you too. Call the KBlend helpline at 734-605-8500
On the KBlend show. I'm your host, Dr. Krista Kleider, and I'm here with our wonderful friend and guest, Sam. She's sharing her amazing story today about before the KBlend program and then today where she's going now. And she has shared some very difficult things in her life that she has been through, everything from the ups and downs of bipolar depression and the manic state, suicidal ideations and an attempt on her life, to the recent and sudden loss of her husband of 5 years. And Sam, thank you again so much for being here today. For the listeners who are out there who are thinking about trying the KBlend program, what do you think is important for them to understand about what we do?
I would say the most important thing is you don't have to hit rock bottom to go to the KBlend program. If I could have found out about this before I hit rock bottom, I would have signed up for it. I came here with absolutely nothing. I had no family, barely a job. I lost everything important around me almost. I would have done anything you asked me to do just to get rid of what I was feeling. Like I said, I tried to kill myself to make it end. I did a lot of really stupid things to thinking I was healing myself. Don't wait. If you feel it and somebody around you notices it, think about it. If you're thinking about it, then you're probably already there where you need it.
Absolutely. And if somebody is out there listening right now and they're like, oh, she's full of fluff, like this is all just an advertisement, it really doesn't help, it's going to be the next thing that doesn't work for me. I've tried 30, 40 medications. I've tried all sorts of therapy. I've tried, ECT treatments. I've tried everything under the sun. I've never heard of the KBlend program. It is not going to work for me. What would you say to those people?
I would say you can't knock it till you try it. I will tell you right now, you do, I think it's 6, right? Back-to-back treatments. And as I mentioned throughout the program, the first one did nothing. And I was like, I'm not even going to the second one. I've been let down enough. I've done this rodeo. I've tried everything and it's not working. I'm just going to sit at home and drink through this. I was wrong. On my second treatment, I was feeling therapy and medication can't compare to what I felt after my second treatment, and the relief and the not even happiness. It was euphoria. The voices stopped. The negative rumination was done. And this isn't just an ad. I don't cry all the time on a public forum if I didn't think it would save another life.
Absolutely. Now, you spoke about, I wanted to just go back. You jogged my memory about something I wanted to ask you. You have shared so much today. Thank you so much for sharing all of your experiences, your emotions. Thank you for being real on the radio and real on the video for our listeners and our viewers that are watching us on our website. So I just wanted to ask you, does the future seem brighter now because of KBlend? And where do you feel that God is leading you next?
It definitely feels brighter. I wouldn't even be here today without KBlend, let alone happy. Like I said before, without that accident, this is the happiest I've ever been. My whole mindset is different, and I look forward to the future. I look forward to seeing my daughter grow up. Before it was, I can't wait to go to bed. Now it's, I can't wait to see tomorrow. And every morning I mentioned I have that little bit of time I feel good. And I know that as I go with time, that little bit of time is going to get longer and longer every day. And I've already accomplished so much, and I look forward to helping others. That's what I want to do. I want to help others that have the same problem I have, that know they're not alone. And there is something that works that's not conventional. And it's probably, you're not going to believe it until you try it. But there is something. You don't have to be alone. You don't have to wait until you want to kill yourself. You don't have to sit and suffer every single day with the voices and the negativity and the sadness. There is another way of life. And I'm a walking proof that it can happen. I can't explain it enough that unless you try it, I can't explain it. It's a different way of life. If this is how everyone else feels, this is great. I love it, and it's happy. It's nice.
You feel normal?
I feel normal. I feel normal.
Whatever normal is, right?
I think it's the most normal I've ever felt. So I don't feel sad. I don't wake up sad. I don't go to bed sad. I don't I don't dread the next day. I look forward to it. And I actually, which is weird, I like my job. I used to hate my job and I hate it every day. And now I'm like, I have a job. I like it. I like the people I work with. I'm happy. I have a good situation. I have a home. I have food. I have a daughter. I have a job. I have a family. I have opportunities. I just got offered another job within a different department of my job, and I'm looking forward to it. All things that wouldn't have happened if I didn't change the way I was acting, behaving, and thinking.
Wow, that is amazing. So you are a walking testimony to not just the KBlend program, but also to that mentality of creating positive pathways in your brain, of forward thinking, of coaching yourself through one of the hardest periods of your life, the grief of your husband, right?
Yep.
So, the listeners that are out there and those of you watching our video right now, we know that life is very hard. You're going to be, again, up, down, and all around. Life throws us curveballs at any given moment. And the great news is that you're not on an island by yourself. We've said that several times here throughout our show today, that there is help out there and there is hope that something could work for you. And our KBlend program is an amazing program that we have helped hundreds of patients just like you and just like Sam. So if you're questioning at all whether this program is right for you, I want you to give us a call today. Our phone number is 734-605-8500. Again, that's 734-605-8500. Or you can visit our website at www.my, the letter K, and then blend, BLEND.com. That's www.mykblend.com. We are so excited that you joined us for today. I hope that you can visit us again in 2 weeks from now, where we're going to be getting into more real emotions, more real daily and life struggles with more patients, and talking about our faith and the hope that we have not only in God, but how amazing our KBlend program is. So please visit us again at 1:00 p.m. on WMUZ. Thank you so much for spending your Saturday afternoon with us. We appreciate you and hope to hear from you soon.
Depression and trauma can leave people feeling trapped, like the fog will never lift.
I was wrestling with depression and anxiety, some trauma that happened to me in my home.
After suffering strokes, Susan struggled with balance.
I had a very difficult time processing. I really needed help. After I had the strokes, I would drag my foot and my balance was off.
The first treatment changed everything.
First day, I felt the fog starting to clear. I feel so good now. When can I have the next one? And I'm like, am I supposed to wait? Or am I supposed to just go on? And that's where you guys come in. And my mom said, you are back.
Her husband remembers the moment her mother looked at him.
I looked at her mom, and her mom looked at me and said, we got our girl back.
We got our girl back. Stories like Susan's are why KBlend exists. You can hear Susan's full story right now at KBlend.com. And if you or someone you love is struggling, you don't have to face it alone. Call the KBlend helpline, 734-605-8500. That's 734-605-8500. The KBlend helpline is ready for your call.
Joey was dealing with several issues when he first came to KBlend.
Trauma, anxiety, depression, failure, hopeless, not knowing even where I stood with God.
He tried the conventional ways of dealing with his anxiety and other mood disorders.
I did therapy and counseling. I seen a psychiatrist. They prescribed me medications. The medications, in a way they helped, in a way they caused other problems.
Nothing he tried was helping.
After so many failed attempts, you start to feel hopeless and you feel like nothing works.
And then Joey went to KBlend for their proprietary and personalized treatment of anxiety, depression, PTSD, OCD, and other mood disorders, and he finally had his breakthrough. Take a sledgehammer to your treatment-resistant mood disorders and pain with KBlend. Call 734-605-8500 and get on the road to true recovery. And Joey's advice to others who are searching for relief?
I would tell them that whatever they're struggling with, they need to bring it to KBlend.
I didn't get out of bed some days. My friends didn't even know anything about me for months because, I just didn't want to talk to anybody.
For years, Jill tried almost everything to conquer her depression and anxiety, but nothing seemed to work.
I've been going to therapy since I was 13. Every medication you can think of, I've done a mouth swab test to see which medications I'm good with. It was 3, but we tried all 3 and nothing worked. And it's the KBlend, because that was the last resort. And let me tell you, I'm so thankful it worked.
KBlend acts like a sledgehammer on treatment-resistant mood disorders like depression, anxiety, PTSD, OCD, even chronic pain. Call the KBlend helpline at 734-605-8500 and talk to a KBlend expert about how this revolutionary program can help you overcome your treatment-resistant mood disorder, suicidal ideation, or chronic pain.
What else do you have to lose? Just do it.
You've been listening to The KBlend Show with your hosts, John and Krista Kleider. Thank you for joining us. You can find out more about this revolutionary treatment at mykblend.com, or you can speak directly to a KBlend expert by calling 734-605-8500. And join us each Saturday afternoon at 1 for more honest stories of healing and hope with The KBlend Show on 103.5 FM WMUZ The Light. Detroit, Maine, Bible Strong.